All right. How about now? Is it good? It's better now? Okay. I don't know why it does that. Some of the wiring. Okay. So, let's get into quarterbacks for the slate. Josh Allen, obviously the most expensive quarterback. It's pretty interesting that we're getting still a quarterback under 8K. You would think at this point Allen Lamar would kind of be at that 8K range to make him unplayable. But when you get, Josh Allen cheaper than CMC, Josh Allen cheaper than Puka, like, these are the questions you start to ask yourself when doing your lineups today. Is Josh Allen a better play at a cheaper price than, a higher ownership CMC and a higher ownership Puka? Jalen Hurts I like in the Philly-Tampa Bay game on the road. I kind of like the passing style for Philly today. So, I mean, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are the same price. Or not same price, sorry. They're in the same price range, but they're a cheap stack compared to where they should be for their, ceiling games that they're going to get. So I think that one's definitely interesting. Herbert's kind of interesting, but the thing with Herbert is a lot of people are going to be playing Amari and Hampton. I like Herbert today, but like Hampton's cheaper. Seems like a really good play for Hampton. So if you're fading Hampton, you should like then Herbert in the passing game. I mean, even Lad McConkey is still cheap. I mean, he's 6,500. When you consider some of the names above him in pricing, and Zay and Abuka, I mean, he is definitely really interesting on this. Down, like, Mahomes could be with Worthy back. I kind of like Kansas City's run game, though, so I'm not sure where I'm at with Mahomes fully. But I like Mahomes. I mean, it's just crazy. If you go years back, like, we would never get Mahomes at 6,000. Like, it's weird to say Mahomes isn't, like, he's not old yet. He's still young, like, in his prime. It's just that offense doesn't move the way it did. Yeah, I figured Juwan was going to be in. But, I mean, last week against the Giants, I mean, he doesn't go crazy, but against the Chargers, against Philly, like, now he's facing Baltimore, to where we saw, Josh Allen had a really good game against Baltimore. Now we get Patrick Mahomes, and he's at 6,000 for the price tag. So, I mean, you get Worthy back. Like, Mahomes is a good tournament play. I like Mahomes today. And then you start getting into where the cash is going to be. So you get Caleb Williams, obviously. Drake May's getting there. Geno there. I know, Marcus Mariota is going to get clicked a lot. I'm not sold on Marcus Mariota. Like, on this slate, I'd rather go the Jackson Dart route. Who's 8K on FanDuel? You're talking about Holmes is 8K on FanDuel? That's crazy. Like that, like, it's good. Like, but why play Mahomes if he's 8K on FanDuel? That's just crazy. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with quarterbacks. So I mean, a lot of these guys are gonna get clicked a lot. There's not a lot of interesting plays down here anyway. Michael Penix may be at 5,100, but I mean, the way the touchdowns go, it's gonna go Bijan, it's gonna go Tyler Algier. Running backs, McCaffrey, yes, like, yet again, McCaffrey is just a bell cow, high volume running back. He's going to be all this season. Other than that, on these top prices, like, Bijan's got to find the end zone to kind of pay off for that price point. Gibbs is in a tough matchup on the ground. Could get there in receiving. We saw it earlier this year where he got, 10 receptions. So we could see Gibbs get some receiving, but I don't like it. Barkley, same thing. I don't love it against the ground, but we could see, we saw Bijan had a really good game in the receiving game against Tampa. Now we get Barkley. So, I mean, that's there. Jonathan Taylor, yeah, against the Rams, it's so tough. Like, he's another guy who's a bell cow back. putting up some crazy numbers this season, but it is the toughest matchup. If Jonathan Taylor goes crazy today, then you know what, he might be the best back in the league this season, because I mean he's just putting up some crazy numbers so far. So, but yeah, today's a good test for him. Derrick Henry, this one's interesting because Kansas City's a good run defense. We're getting Derrick Henry priced pretty cheap, right? Because started off 72, obviously had the blow-up game. Usually we see his price start to go up later in the season just because you know he is going to get the ball more. They're going to rely upon him. But the Chris Jones news of Chris Jones is like, I mean, he's dealing with some actual personal stuff. Funeral, I believe it is, and coming in. So I'm not trying to go that route, but I mean, he's going to be coming in late to that game. So like, not fully locked in, invested type of scenario. So maybe Derrick Henry takes advantage of one of the Kansas City's best interior players. There's a lot of props I like today. It depends on what you're looking for. For quarterbacks, I saw Daniel Jones's passing yards prop was pretty low. I like that one since I'm lower on Jonathan Taylor. I think it was like 2. Let's see what I got it at. Daniel Jones, I got, what's it at? 219.5 was Daniel Jones's passing prop. Like, this is his 219 is his passing prop, and he's done that every game so far. So I like that one. I like, I took Jared Goff over 227.5 passing. This one, like, he's only hit one out of 3 so far this season, but I like the Browns interior. I think it's a really good interior, so I think they're going to be passing a lot. So I like that one. I took Brock Bowers over 59.5 receiving, which this one is tricky as well because Ashton Genty's in a pretty good spot. I mean, I love it. It's hard to not like Brock Bowers though against the Bears. Like, the Bears are really bad against tight ends, still dealing with injury. So I like Brock Bowers. I took Zay Flowers 63.5. Kind of had the bad game last week. Going against the Chiefs, should be a close game. Should see Zay get included a little more. Isaiah Likely's going to be back, so you know maybe that helps out. We saw Mark Andrews had a crazy good game, so I like Zay. I took his prop. Took Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving anytime touchdown. His was pretty good. And then most books have it, but the FanDuel ones I got. So I took Lamar and Mahomes to combine for over 500. Caleb Williams and Geno to combine for 500, and Jones and Stafford to combine for 500. I like those games to where I could see one quarterback having a really damn good game, and just seeing a lot of back and forth through the passing. Don't love the run as much. So Indy, LA, I don't like the run as much. Bears, Raiders, I like Genty, so that one's somewhat concerning. And then Lamar and Mahomes, that one easily could go for 600, so like that one as well. Marion Hampton, his anytime is kind of low. Like, he's minus 113 to score today. So I like that one as well. Going back to it, so the running backs, James Cook, like, it's so weird too because Allen, I still don't feel is priced appropriately for the matchup and what he's done so far. James Cook is cheap, like pretty cheap against New Orleans. Bucky Irving, I think, is the touchdown upside is there with someone like Mike Evans missing. But Genty, I mentioned it a couple times this week, but Genty's in a really good spot. I think this price is where I'm more comfortable playing Ashton Genty than other spots. Alvin Kamara could be interesting. I've mentioned I don't like Alvin Kamara on the ground. If he could see 6 targets, like 6 or 7 targets in this matchup, then yeah, I think Kamara's in a good spot. I really do. On DraftKings, he gets the full PPR. I like that one. Hampton, obviously, in a smash spot. Judkins, I think he's in a good spot. If Cleveland's going to find a way to beat Detroit, like they did Green Bay. Like, you get Judkins included, control the pace of the game, make the other team uncomfortable. That's how they beat Green Bay. Now they get another NFC North opponent, so I like Judkins again this week. I think he's at a fair price point as well. And then right down here is kind of interesting. I like New England's run game, so Travion Henderson at 52, Ramondre at 51. Nick Chubb's in a good spot. Like, I get the whole Woody Marks thing and all that, but I think it's a good opportunity for Nick Chubb. And then I haven't seen a lot of talk on Kansas City's running backs in this one. They could be sneaky. Like, I like the passing game in this. I just mentioned I like the passing game. But there's also a scenario where this game is, a defensive game where we see two teams that are on the verge of being, like, one of them is going to be 1-3 after this game. So you don't want to hit that 1-3 mark. So I could see a scenario where the running backs get included. So kind of like that one. Wide receivers, Puka obviously one of the top plays in a really good matchup. Indy missing, they're one of their best corners, and he would have lined up against Puka. So Puka's in a really good spot. I think Nico's in a really good spot again this week against the Titans. Division game at home, like Nico in this one. Amon-Ra, with how good Cleveland is against the run, I could see some opportunities open up in the pass game. Amon-Ra's in a good spot. I love Ibuka. I love Ibuka, and I don't mean to down talk Ibuka at all for this. But, man, his price is just getting crazy. His price is just crazy. Like loved him. Took such a skyrocket in price. Like, goes up $500. Has an okay game, right? This doesn't pay off. 14.5 doesn't pay off at 63. He goes up another $500 against Philly. Like, it's just really tough to play that price. Ladd, I think Ladd's in a really good spot. His matchup's good against the Giants. Yet again, I just like Omari and Hampton, so I'm not going to be as high, but I still like it. A.J. Brown's still cheap. He's still very, very cheap against Tampa Bay. He's in a really good matchup, especially against man coverage. Rome Odunze, like, this is the price you want to see someone like Emeka Egbuka stay at to have those tough decisions if you want to play him, versus like Rome Odunze is smashed pretty much at his price point. 51 gets 3x, 53 gets 3x, 48, smashes. Now he's up to 63, so obviously a huge spike, but still an amazing spot. Devontae Adams, if he's in there, great spot as well. Deebo Samuel's kind of a sneaky play. I'm looking at 6K. Don't love it, but with AJ Terrell out, Terry McLaurin out, Jayden Daniels out, I think Deebo Samuel's in a pretty good sneaky spot. Drake London at 57's got to be worth mentioning. I like Atlanta. Darnell Mooney's probably one of those guys I'm looking at a little more at 4,700 though against Washington, but I like London as well. Obviously, people are going to be playing the Chicago, Vegas, so not a whole lot to talk about there. I think the Buffalo wide receivers are interesting. I could see one of them having a really, really good game. It's just dictating, where the ball's going to go, where the fantasy points are going to come from on the Buffalo side. So I like Buffalo. I think they're in a really damn good spot this week. We start going down to cheap plays. There's a couple of names I'll throw out there. Tillman at 4,200 against Detroit. If Detroit stays on the trend, right, they're at home in a dome. We know the success Detroit has there, especially Jared Goff. So we figure Cleveland to be passing a little more, right? So Tillman's in a really good spot at 4,200. Yet again, I'm on Trey Tucker. I just don't like the price point at 4,200 as much. Like, he's good. I love Trey Tucker. I mentioned it. He's in a really good spot. He was undervalued. A lot of people just had the rookie hype. But he's still at a good price point. It's just not as valuable when he was under 4K. We keep going down. The Thorntons will be worth mentioning again, right? Like, just because Xavier Worthy is back doesn't mean Tyquan Thornton can't still be the deep ball threat for them as well. Like, Xavier Worthy, yes, like, his speed is going to be used, but when you get Xavier Worthy the ball, like just a short, and let him use his speed, that's where he's really dangerous. So you can open up the field a lot this week with Kansas City's speed. Like, Kansas City, like, when you look at Miami and how dangerous they were a few years ago, And, you know, you had Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, two of the fastest wide receivers. You look at Kansas City's wide receiver room, you get some of the fastest wide receivers in the league as well, like Worthy, Tyquan Thornton, Hollywood Brown. Like, you get a lot of speed on that Kansas City. It could get really, really interesting if this wide receiver room can stay healthy when Rashee Rice comes back. It could be a really, really fun team to target. Deontay Thornton, this one I'll mention, like, I like Trey Tucker, but Deontay Thornton at 3,900, this could be the game where he shines. I will continue to say it. He's going to have a couple games this season. A couple. I don't expect it a lot, but he's going to have a couple games this season where he pops off for 20-plus points. This is one of those games where he could do it. I like all the Vegas pass catchers. All of them. I like Vegas. I think you're going to get one or two guys that really pop off in this slate, right? Genty, Myers, Tucker, Thornton, Bowers. Like, they're all in really good matchups in this one. Going down, there's not a lot. I kind of like Tesla. He's just got to get on the field, but I think it's a good one. Tyler Lockett, I know this one's ugly, but I think Tyler Lockett's kind of interesting at 3,500 against Houston. His matchup is interesting, but it's a total punt. And then Adonai Mitchell at 3,100. Like, I really like him today. He's probably going to disappoint me, but when he gets on the field, he's a huge deep ball threat. Alec Pierce is out. Could see Mitchell get those targets. So 3,100, he's definitely one of those guys that I'm willing to punt on this week. Tight ends for me is pretty simple. I really like Brock Bowers, and I really like Tyler Warren. Everything else is a huge question mark for me, right? Kelsey's in a good spot. He just isn't Kelsey, the same Kelsey we know and loved for fantasy a few years ago, but he's in a really good spot against Baltimore. Kincaid's in a really good spot. It's just, is it worth taking at 4,500 when, like, you don't know? Like, I could see all the Bills pretty much getting, besides Josh Allen and James Cook, you know, obviously that's where the higher ceiling's at, but Kincaid, Coleman, Shakir, you could throw in Palmer, like those guys, I could see them all pretty much get around 10 to 15 fantasy points in this one. So it's worrisome, but I mean, it's such a good matchup for the Bills. And then other than that, like, Zach Ertz is getting some love, and I get it. I fully get it. Atlanta's played tight ends really, really tough, though, so far this season. Granted, you look at the tight ends they've played, and you can make that case. So, do with that as you will. Juwan Johnson, like, yeah, Buffalo plays tight ends well. He just gets a lot of target. They're going to be down, so a lot to like there. Hunter Henry, yet again, I love Hunter Henry. I will continue to mention he's a guy I was perfectly fine with getting in best balls because you're going to have your boomer bust weeks. You just have to be okay with the bus. Cleveland tight ends, this one's interesting, right? They're $100 away from each other. They're both in good matchups. Like, Njoku's still not, like, he's not getting totally deleted from this offense. So I think you could definitely get ownership on both these tight ends and gonna get some value out of both of them. I do think it's interesting too that Kyle Pitts is 3,600 in this matchup against Washington. That's one to watch out for. I really like Kyle Pitts. Some of the other names, Brenton Strange at 3,200. Colston Loveland is expected to be out, so I think Cole Kmet could be an interesting play at his price point. And then Gadsden at 2,600. I think he's a good punt play, especially if you want to play the Texans defense, for instance, where they're 3,400. 3,400. So if you wanted to pay down somewhere else to pay up for the Texans defense, like you really like the Texans or you like another defense up there, you can then punt and go someone like Gadsden, who's in a good matchup against the Giants at 2,600. So defenses, yeah, I mean the top defenses up here, like Lions have potential to have a really good game against Flacco, who hasn't played the greatest. Texans against Cam Ward, who Cam Ward is getting sacked a lot, so you're just getting free points there regardless. If the opposing defense does allow points, they're still getting sacks. They're still getting points from the sacks alone. So, Texans defense, Chargers defense against Jackson Dart, a rookie quarterback. Khalil Mack's out, though, so that is quite a big blow for that defense's potential points, but still, rookie quarterback kind of being thrown into a tornado of an offense is the best way to describe it. I think New England's defense at 3,100 is interesting against Carolina. Carolina's getting a lot of buzz off of the 30-0 win they just had, so I think people are going to be a little overly hyped on Carolina. Yet again, I like Carolina. I like their offense. I like Bryce Young. I like some of the pieces they have, but they're going to have their games where they're not producing. They're going to have their games when they're losing a lot and they get some fantasy points off trash and stuff like that to really kind of confuse you with some of the numbers. But I like New England's defense in this one. Other than that, the Bears could be interesting. It's really hard to not like Vegas, but the potential could be there. The Panthers against New England on the same side. The Panthers defense has played pretty good. I mean, any team, if you could shut out any team in the National Football League, like, you got to get some props one way or another. So they're 2,500. Jacksonville's 2,500. Jacksonville's just played good. They've just played good football, right? Even against Cincy, where they got torched by Jake Browning, they still got some turnovers against Jake Browning. Still positive in the fantasy points, right? If you get 8 points off of a defense, I'm happy with that, right? It's a defense. It's a total punt. The Titans, with how bad Houston's offense has looked, yes, you could go for it. So, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at for the slate. Apologize about not getting the GPP play up. So, just wanted to go more in depth on the live stream just because I did miss it. Did JJ get 100? Oh my God, Pittsburgh's up 24-6. Crazy. Is that 118 for JJ? 115? Nice. I got it at plus 210 or 240, I think, for JJ over 100. I guess I should have just kept going and went for 110. But yeah, that's really good for him. So, yet again, I'll let you guys get to your lineups and hopefully. And I just want to get a lineup that if they suck, they suck. I don't want an injury to hurt my lineup. So just hoping for a healthy lineup today. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. And I hope you guys have a good DFS day. So